How do I... Okay. 'Tis morning, yet again. I am, per usual, making coffee. One-handed, mind you, which is impressing me. May not be impressive to anyone else, but you know what? To me, I'm hyped on my skills right now, up until this part. There we go. Wow. Look at that. Mad skills. Mad skills in the morning. How long does it take you to get fired up and adjusted for the day? Takes me a hot minute. Sleep is rough. Sleep is rough when two toddlers demand to sleep between you and your wife. It's two toddlers who like to move around and roll and who demand all the space in the world, which beckons the question, why are you cramped in here in the first place? But you can't speak that kind of logic to a 2-year-old. It just doesn't work. Man, I have mat burn on the back of my elbow. That's what happens when you don't wear a long sleeve rash guard. Today's coffee brought to you by Kroger. Blueberry crumb cake coffee. Now, I know what you're thinking. Justin, store brand coffees can't be that good. They're the cheapest on the shelf. Ergo, they must not be the most enjoyable. Well, you've never had the blueberry crumb cake coffee from Kroger. I promise you haven't. Or to my friends on the West Coast at Ralph's, because I believe Kroger and Ralph's are one and the same. I think. I could be wrong. Remember, I'm not firing on full cylinders yet. This is the Leal legacy.
Who's the leader of the pack, bringing legacy to you? Legacy-C-L-U-B, it's true. Stand up, gear up, join the fight. We're as fierce as we can be. With grit and might, we claim the night. We're the Legacy. Legacy Club. Legacy Club. Strong and unbreakable. Warriors with fire inside. In our hearts, we're invincible. Legacy Club.
All right. Leaving the gym. Didn't take my knee braces off, so now my legs are itchy. Only because, I don't know, the way the fabric of the knee brace is digging into my flesh. That's why. It's not because they're gross. It's not because I have a rash or a skin condition or something. Oh boy. Ilia Topuria is the new lightweight champion of the world in the UFC. And boy, oh boy, it's the dawning of a new reign, a new unforeseeable length of time. I believe Ilia Topuria will be the champion of that division. He came up from 145 pounds, the bantamweight division. He was the champion there. Became the champion, knocking Alexander Volkanovski unconscious. Something that was, for a long time standing, seemingly an impossibility. But then Islam Makhachev did it. And then after that, Ilia Topuria did it. So, one could argue maybe Volk just couldn't shake the spider webs. Volk was a little more fragile, had more breakable chin than he once did after that first KO from Islam Makhachev. But then Ilia Topuria defended his belt that he gained, that he took from Alexander Volkanovski, defended it against Max Holloway, and did it again. He knocked out Max Holloway. Now, Max Holloway not necessarily one for the inability of being knocked out. Actually, I clearly couldn't tell you who knocked him out before that, but I feel like it had been done. Might have been Volk. I'm not sure. But I could also just be making that up. Needless to say, that was a bit shocking. Ilia Topuria, no doubt, no question that he's good, that he's a great fighter. But was he just that good where he could knock out two of the toughest names in the bantamweight division back to back? Not just fight one, knock him out, get through another opponent or two, and then knock Max out. No. The very next fight, after knocking out Alexander Volkanovski, Ilia Topuria knocked out Max Holloway, defending his UFC bantamweight title. Then he decides to vacate his belt at bantamweight to go chase that same dream at the next division up in the lightweight division, which belt was recently vacated by Islam Makhachev, who's going and chasing the same dream at 170 in the welterweight division. That fight has yet to happen, so we don't know if Islam will be the champion at 170. I think he will be, but that's yet to be seen. Ilia Topuria fought for the vacant lightweight championship belt. He fought another legend of the game, a legend in the division, a former champion of the division, Charles Oliveira. And guess what? Guess what happened? Round number 1. Ilia Topuria knocked out Charles Oliveira. 3 at one-time champions, former champions. One was a current champion. The other 2 were former champions. 3 in a row, 3 fights in a row, 3 champion caliber fighters. Ilia Topuria dispatched unconscious. Now, that's just wild. It's wild. It's wild to knock out 3 opponents in a row, for one thing. That's wild in itself. But to knock out the caliber of opponents of Alexander Volkanovski, Max Holloway, and Charles Oliveira is just unbelievable. But the guy did it. Ilia Topuria was able to do it, and I think he's going to keep doing it because I don't know who can beat that guy. I truly do not. Paddy Pimblett thinks he can do it. However, Paddy Pimblett has, I don't know, man. He has a way of getting hit. He doesn't get knocked out easy, but he does get hit. So I don't know. That was the same thing about Charles Oliveira. He could get hit. His strength wasn't in not being hit. His strength was being a grappler. And arguably, I'd say the same for Paddy Pimblett. Excuse me. My throat's getting dried out from the AC blowing in my face while I do this. I don't know, guys. I don't know. People call Jon Jones the GOAT. I have my own feelings about Jon Jones being the greatest of all time when he was so compromised in other aspects outside the cage and in the cage. He got popped for PEDs, so he was cheating, essentially. So you can't really be a cheater and the greatest of all time. Ilia Topuria, though, clean record and doing the unthinkable. Currently undefeated, 17-fight win streak, 3 consecutive KOs of UFC legends. I'm calling it here and calling it now. Ilia Topuria will be the next greatest of all time. George St. Pierre is arguably one of the greatest of all times, if not the greatest. John Jones, again, one of the greatest, if not the greatest. Maybe even Khabib, but maybe not. Khabib, he didn't win belts in 2 different divisions. He was undefeated, but I don't think Khabib, he chose not to stick around long enough to really, truly see how great he truly could have been. He is one of the greats, undoubtedly one of the greats. But Ilia Topuria is doing things that so few ever have done at the caliber of which he's doing it. So I'm saying it. There's going to be a long title reign of Ilia Topuria. And in that title reign, he will be the greatest of all time. And you know what? Quite possibly, maybe, if he has it in him, the first 3-division champion in the UFC. I could see him going for 170. Not a big dude, not a tall dude. But the way he's able to put lights out, something to behold. I don't know. Keep an eye on him. That's all I'm saying. Let's enjoy the ride. Moment of peace and quiet as I drive to go pick up our oldest boy from his grandparents' house. I wasn't struck with the idea to record until I got in the car, and I was like, oh, this would be a good time to pull this off. Because I'm going to be honest with you, finding little periods of time to sit and talk to myself, they're fewer and farther between than I thought, or I'm lazy and I just wasn't, being as diligent as I could be, which, whoa, strobe light, which I have a tendency to do sometimes. I said strobe light because one of these street lights were flashing, or was flashing on and off erratically. Now, that also brings something to my mind. How often, when you're driving, do you see a street light go off? Like, just turn off? Does it happen frequently to other people? I feel like I tend to notice it quite a bit. It just happened. It just happened right now. Not even kidding. I'm really promise I'm not making that up. Sincerely, as I was talking about it, one of the streetlights turned off. Now, that has to say something, right? I'm being 100% honest about that. That literally just happened. That was wild. I'm in disbelief. So you just listening to this, I know there's no chance you're going to believe me, but try your best to believe me when I say a streetlight just went out. As I was asking, does that happen frequently to other people? Because I feel like it happens pretty frequently. To me, I wasn't sure if I was going to say it happened frequently. I was going to say like a noticeable amount of times, but the fact that it just happened as I'm doing this, I'm going to say frequently. Is that a thing that everyone else notices? If you haven't noticed up to this point, start paying attention. Just see if that happens. Like, it's crazy. And it's one that I'm driving up to. It'll usually be like the one I'm coming up upon or the one after it that it happens to. I notice it happens on the street I live on too. Like, I'll take my trash to the curb, usually pretty late at night, and every now and then, a noticeable amount of times, it happens. It happens to where I'm like, man, it wasn't long before that point where I can recall it happening prior. I'm getting lost now. What is that? Is it a faulty bulb? Because I can't imagine I'm passing under faulty bulbs that frequently. Now, one could argue they're on all the time throughout the night, every single day. Okay, so yeah, they're going to burn out eventually. But why is it that I see it so frequently? You know? Why is it that I see it happen? I mean, there's so many other times it could happen, other days I'm not driving by the same night, before or after I drive by, where I don't see it. I wish I could remember which one it was, because I would check if it's still out when I drive by again. Is that something they do? Do they periodically, to conserve power maybe? I don't know. Turn off every now and then? I've never seen it go off and then pop back on. Like, it's off as I go past it. And I'm not thinking to look in the rearview mirror to see if it pops back on, after I'm past it. But wow, that was wild. I'm still in awe that it happened as I was talking about it. What is that? Is it a ghost trying to materialize itself? Am I haunted? Do I have a passenger with me? A hitchhiker ghost? Like from Haunted Mansion? To where, as I'm driving by, it has to pull energy from some source to keep itself present? That is so crazy. Is that a thing, though? Do you believe that? That ghosts or, entities or spirits need to, pull energy from something nearby to help itself manifest? I mean, nothing's manifesting around me. I'm not seeing any ghosts right now. I don't want to say that, though, and then look in my rearview mirror and see some creepy... Probably a little girl would be the creepiest. That's usually the case, right? Things like Annabelle or The Ring. What other... So, kid ghosts. Kid ghosts is always the most unsettling, by far. I don't think there's any argument to that. 1,000%, I would say a child ghost is far more unsettling than an adult ghost. I'd much rather see a towering, imposing kind of figure than a spooky kid. You know what I mean? Give me a Viking ghost any day opposed to a child. Something heartbreaking about a child ghost. Because that's never... A child ghost does not come into existence through anything other than tragedy. It's always a tragic situation if you see a kid ghost. An adult ghost is whatever. Yeah, you lived a life. Arguably a full-ish life. I mean, I'd hate to imagine being in your 30s or 40s around where I'm my age, because I don't feel like I've gone through a satisfying amount of life. I've had a number of lives. I've lived different scenarios in my life, different time periods in life. In my life, you ever notice that? How different periods in your life feel like a lifetime within itself, like grade school? Grade school within itself felt like its own lifetime. Same could be for high school, arguably the same for college, various jobs I've had. Each one of those moments in time, moments in my life, feel like a full life of their own, which is crazy to say, because it's a fraction of life compared to a life in its totality. But I digress. I had to pull my little pouch out of my mouth. Yeah. Much rather see an adult ghost. Even a tragic adult ghost would be less unsettling than the happiest of child ghosts. Yeah, I feel like that's pretty safe to say. But what is that? What is that with the lights? I want to know. Is someone trying to materialize at that? I wonder too. Did something tragic happen at that specific light post? And the other ones that happen to turn off while I'm cognizant of it. That's something to think about. Car wrecks happen frequently. Tragic car accidents happen. I mean, if you're flying down the road and hit a pole, that seems like a pretty common tragic outcome for an accident. So maybe that pole was touched by tragedy but why as I drive by? Am I inspiring that? Do I have that sense? I feel like I have throughout life. I've always felt like, I don't know, does everybody feel that? Where you kind of get that spooky unease sometimes? Is everybody capable of feeling that, but people are able to think nothing of it? I notice it every time. Every time. Very spooky. And it's not always every time in one spot. That kind of thing can happen whenever, wherever. Back to the whole thing, me taking the trash out at night. Sometimes I'll take the trash out and everything will be just peachy. Nothing feels off. But then there's other times where I'll do that and there's definitely a sense of unease in the air. Where I'm just looking over my shoulder and kind of scanning my surroundings more carefully than I would otherwise. I don't know. Something to think about, something to pay attention to. Let me know. Let me know in the comments, wherever you're listening to this, if this happens to you. If this is an occurrence you've noticed as well. Or just any other kind of weird phenomena. I like weird phenomena. Oh, that makes sense. Feeling all hot and flush. It's because the AC is not on, and it's a hot night. Oh, that feels so much better. Give me more of that cold air. Oh, this is not safe what I'm doing. I shouldn't be speaking or thinking of tragic automotive situations while juggling driving, holding this, and trying to mess with the AC. That just doesn't feel intelligent. Something cool I'll get to share here momentarily. I'll do a post about it on the website and then, various other places too. But an album that I did all the graphic work for has come in. Ready to be marketed and sold wherever that happens to take place. But it's cool. It's cool to see a project like that come to fruition. It's a vinyl record, and I did the cover, the interiors, the back cover, the label on the record itself. I did all that. It's fun. Good stuff. I think it looks cool. My wife says she thinks it looks cool. The final product, that is. We've only seen photos of said final product, but as far as we can tell, it looks pretty great. So I'll be able to dive into that more once they are officially up and ready to be sold. So that's exciting. First time I've ever done that. First vinyl case? Sleeve? What do you call that? What do you call that, what you put vinyl in? Anyway, whatever it's called, I had a hand in that. It's pretty rad. Pretty rad. Keep an eye out for that. I'm going to do a better job driving now. All right. I'm home alone. This never ever happens. So to squander this time not recording would have been silly. I don't even know if I have anything to talk about. I don't know, man. I gotta compile these audio instances and Frankenstein them together less ambitiously, because there have been times where I've started recording. I'm like, I have to use this opportunity to record something, but then I have nothing to talk about. And if I have nothing to talk about, it's not going to be very interesting. And then that's just going to be a bummer all the way around. So yeah, we're not going to do that. I was looking on social media earlier today and saw that they have confirmed John Barenthal, aka the Punisher of the MCU, he's going to be in the new Spider-Man movie, and with a PG-13 rating. I don't know how I feel about that. I love that Punisher. That Punisher, John Barenthal's Punisher, is probably the greatest on-screen Punisher that we've ever seen. I mean, if they wrote that a Punisher in a comic solely based on John Barenthal's Punisher, that would be incredible. It feels a little odd when you think about Spider-Man No Way Home or Far From Home or Homecoming or all the, the Spider-Man Home series. Finagling in the Punisher that we had in Daredevil and the Netflix series feels very intense, to say the least. Because even in Daredevil Born Again, he was spectacularly violent. And spectacular violence isn't something you often see in Spider-Man movies. Very quippy, very acrobatic, very punch the bad guy but don't kill the bad guy. Frank Castle's not that way. Frank Castle indiscriminately just will brutalize bad guys in the most vicious of ways. It did say in what I saw that it's going to be a very toned down Punisher. And then my whole question to that is why? Why tone down the Punisher? That doesn't feel right. You're watering down the Punisher, then he's just a guy. The whole thing about the Punisher is his brutality. That's it. He's not a super soldier. He doesn't have enhanced human abilities or anything like that. It's his balls to the wall brutality. And you take that away from him and he's just a guy. You know what I mean? So I feel kind of weird about that. It is the same Punisher though that is in the Daredevil series. I feel like that's the same character. Now that they introduced the multiverse, though, you can never really be too sure. Now, in the multiverse, let's think about this. In the multiverse, we have had 3 Peter Parkers, all different. You know what I mean? However, we've seen Doctor Strange Doctor Strange is all the same, right? Okay. Wanda, we've seen Wanda Maximoff throughout the multiverse, and the ones we've seen so far have all been the same. Isn't that intriguing? Why do the Peter Parkers look different, but the Doctor Stranges don't? The Stephen Stranges look the same. I don't know. And then in Deadpool Wolverine, what was this called? Deadpool 3, essentially. All the Wolverines more or less looked the same, with the exception of Henry Cavill being in there. So that was another similarity through the multiverse. But again, we got different Peter Parkers. Significantly different Peter Parkers. Like, they don't even kind of look alike. I've never actually put this much thought into it, but it's kind of... It's an inconsistency, I feel like, now. Who else can we talk about? Arguably at this point now, Ben Affleck's Daredevil is part of this Marvel multiverse, since we got Elektra in Deadpool Wolverine. And then Deadpool Wolverine is clearly part of this MCU multiverse. Because they showed us Thor and the other Avengers in it on screens, but nevertheless they were acknowledged, and the TVA and whatnot. So, and then Steve Rogers and Human Torch, same guy, look the same. So, isn't that interesting? Now, is there going to be is there like a Nova in the multiverse that looks like Tom Holland? Since we have a Johnny Storm and a Steve Rogers from two different universes who are identical? Is that how it's going to be with Robert Downey Jr. and Dr. Doom? I'm still very intrigued by that. I'm really curious how they're going to pull that off. Because, it's Tony Stark. It's a very recognizable face. Are they going to have him look the same, or are they going to have him look different? Is he going to have the Tony Stark facial hair? Is he going to be Dr. Doom clean shaven? I have questions, guys. I have questions. And then I have my, I guess, doubts isn't the right word, but the whole dumbing down the Punisher just feels unnecessary. I like John Barenthal's Punisher. I would like to see more of John Barenthal's Punisher, but I want the Punisher we got in the series. I want the brutal Punisher. This watered down version, I'm not so sure about. And then they also said that Hulk is going to play a role in the new Spider-Man film too. So it's going to be Spider-Man, Hulk, and Punisher. I much rather would have had them expand the relationship between Daredevil and Spider-Man, to be honest with you. I'd much rather those two interact more. They've already interacted as Matt Murdock and Peter Parker. Peter Parker hired Matt Murdock as his lawyer, but why does it have to end there? And it makes way more sense in my mind having Daredevil and Spider-Man teaming up in a PG-13 manner. Like, you can water down Daredevil. You don't even have to water down Daredevil. He's been extremely violent in the series as well, but he doesn't have to be. He just has to be able to fight. You know what I mean? He doesn't have to brutalize the bad guy. And he does brutalize the bad guys while still keeping them among the living. Something Frank Castle's not really known for. But yeah, I think it would have been it's hard to say it would have been a smarter move, or it would be a smarter move, because I don't know what the story is going to be. You know what I mean? But if Frank Castle's not capable of being the Punisher, then it just feels like a wasted instance. You know what I mean? It just feels like if you're not going to utilize him to his fullest, then why bother at all? Why not use another hero that you can utilize to the fullest? And there are other New York-based street-level heroes that could easily team up with Spider-Man. And it's so funny to think that Spider-Man is still, like, acting as a street-level hero after fighting Thanos. You know? Like, after fighting Thanos, I guess it wasn't necessarily just a street-level scenario when he fought Mysterio. That kind of went international, and that was a whole big to-do. And then after that was the whole multiverse thing, so. Who did he fight? He fought Vulture in the first movie? Yeah, so the first movie was pretty street-level crime. Still on a superhero there were how am I trying to say this? It was the Vulture. He was fighting the Vulture, but the Vulture was in business with out of this world technology, which made him more than just a street level threat, but not quite something you would need like the Avengers for. You know, that Vulture, I guess, I don't know. He wouldn't have made a very formative adversary for Iron Man. Captain America, maybe. Thor, not so much. Hulk, definitely not. Anyhow, I'm wondering too if they're ever going to, because Punisher in the comics had moments where he got wrapped up with supernatural like counterparts, which is wild. Because again, being a powerless individual, teaming up with guys like Doctor Strange and Ghost Rider, that's pretty crazy. They were fun reads. What was that team? I think it was actually a Thunderbolts team, to be honest with you. It may have been a Thunderbolts run where it was Red Hulk, Elektra, Punisher, and Venom, and Ghost Rider. Let me see if that's... Let's see for realsy. Hold on, my wife's texting me too. Let's address all these things one at a time. So she's saying, what's for dinner? I said whatever you'd like, and now she's sweating. So I'm going to pitch my go-to, and she's going to say no, maybe. We'll see. And now I want to see, let's see. Thunderbolts, Venom. There you go. Thunderbolts, Agent Venom. Yeah, so that team was Punisher, Red Hulk. Oh, is that Deadpool? Oh. How would I forget that? Hold on, that is Deadpool. Wait a minute. Let's go back. Thunderbolts, Agent Venom team. Let's see. No. Oh, there you go. It's Red Hulk's Thunderbolts. Red Hulk's Thunderbolts. This team, named after Red Hulk's nickname, also included Agent Venom. Other members were Deadpool, Elektra, Ghost Rider, and Red Leader. During a mission with this team, Flash Thompson's symbiote panicked and left his body due to an attack from the Leader, landing leading to the symbiote's temporary removal. So Red Leader? Is that just Red Hulk? Who's Red Leader? I don't remember Red Leader. That was a really good run, though. I liked that series. Let's see. Red Leader. Marvel Comics. Oh, Red Leader. It's just the leader, the guy with the giant brain, the giant head. I didn't recall him being the bad guy in that. Red Leader. Okay. I need to go back and read this one. Because it was a really fun... I remember it being really good. Fascinating. Red Leader. I mean, yeah, because the leader is green, like Hulk, and this one is red, like Red Hulk. That's crazy. That's just wild. How cool is Agent Venom, though, guys? And what a team. Red Hulk, Agent Venom, Punisher, Deadpool, and Elektra. That is such a cool team. I don't know why I thought Ghost Rider was on that team. I feel like there was a point where they did team up with Ghost Rider, though. Yeah, here's an image of them teamed up with Ghost Rider. So I wasn't entirely crazy. Ghost Rider was definitely involved at some point. Yeah, I want to find this in a trade. Man, I haven't been to the comic shop in a long time. But yeah, what a cool team. Agent Venom. If you guys know who Agent Venom is, Flash Thompson from Spider-Man, the Spider-Man world, he became a war hero, but had his legs blown off. And then the government linked him with the Venom symbiote to make him a super soldier. So he was like a Venom super soldier. He had guns, acted like Venom, but kind of looked more like Spider-Man meets Punisher. Really, really cool design. And there was a really cool period in time where Frank Castle donned the War Machine armor. Let's look that up. Punisher, War Machine. In Marvel Comics, Punisher, War Machine refers to Frank Castle, the Punisher, taking possession of the War Machine armor and using it to wage his one-man war on crime. What a rad idea. Because I already love War Machine, and I'm quite the fan of Frank Castle. So you put those two together. How do you make Frank Castle even cooler? You give him a War Machine armor. You make his guns and weapons a part of him. That's how you make him cooler. Like, significantly cooler. Man, that's another run I want to read again. That did not get the attention or the love it deserved. And you know what? That is definitely something I would love to see on the big screen or in like a Marvel series or something. But any hoozle. I think I threw a song in this episode. I'm not entirely sure if I did or not. But maybe I did, maybe I didn't. Who knows? I don't think I talked about anything that was song worthy. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But with all that being said, you know what song I'll throw in here? I'll just throw in the Legacy Club song, right? Maybe not. Who knows? We'll see. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and do the outro stuff because I think I've compiled enough recordings to make an episode. And with that being said, hey, come on over, please. Won't you come on over to leallegacy.com. take a gander at all the fun killer content we have available for you. Everything from this podcast, The Leal Legacy, to our Legacy of Leal family vlog channel, to our POV vlog experience channel at Legacy View, Leal Legacy View. Leal Legacy Music is where you can find all the fun songs I include here on this podcast. Build yourself a playlist. Listen to them. They're all really good. If you're a Disney fan, there's a lot of good songs on there for you that you would really like. What else is there? We did the podcast, we did the vlog, we did the POV vlog. Leal Legacy Gaming, you can watch Baney Boy, my sweet baby Baney. You can watch him play through all your favorite games, or really it's just all his favorite games. But it's still fun to watch. He's very entertaining. At Leal Legacy Gaming. All of those have their own independent YouTube channels, Rumble channels, and whatnot. But just go to leallegacy.com and everything is centralized for you. Every episode of everything, every adventure we've gone on, every piece of music crafted, everything is there, including our web store, Legacy by Leal, our clothing line and merch store, Legacy by Leal. It's at leallegacy.com. Just hit the shop tab, scope it out, check it out, go pick yourself up something nice. $75 or more gets you free shipping. So that's 3 shirts. Buy yourself 3 shirts, get yourself free shipping. It doesn't have to be 3 shirts. It just has to be over $75. So spend $75, get free shipping. Join the Legacy Club. At the very bottom of leallegacy.com, you can join for absolutely $0. Free. You can join our Legacy Club. You'll never be spammed, but you will be regularly notified of all the cool things coming up. New episodes, new videos, new line drops in our store. There are some coming up. I'm doing it the long way. I'm playing the long game with these new Legacy by Leal drops. I'm going to drop a whole bunch of things all at once. That's what a drop is. And who knows how long they'll stay. So right now, I'm in this whole neo-traditional tattoo meshed with Disney vibe. So there's going to be a lot of things popping up in our store in cohesion with that. So you're definitely going to want to check it out. You're definitely going to pick it up if you're a Disney fan. Even if you're not a Disney fan, you're just a tattoo fan, you're still going to want to check it out and pick it up. Pick it up. It's the best way to help this whole little empire we got going keep going and grow beyond our wildest dreams. Is shopping at leallegacy.com. Also, if you don't mind, another way, a free way to help is by subscribing to all our channels, hitting the notification bell, leaving comments, interacting, being a part of the show. Don't you know? Include yourself. Be in it. Be a part of it. Don't be shy. And the best way to stay on top of all that, like I said, is joining the Legacy Club. Absolutely free. All the info you need is at the bottom of the leallegacy.com page. Go there, check it out, sign up. And as always, know how appreciated you are. Thanks for being a friend and telling a friend. See you later.